and posted to the Department of Hawaiian Homeland's website afterwards for others who may not have been able to join us tonight to view. So with me tonight, I have Kahana Albino, who's the acting land management administrator at the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. His division handles the non-homestead use requests for Hawaiian Homelands. Also with me tonight, I have Waialeale Sarsona from Kamehameha Schools, Peggy Kalagao from Kamehameha Schools, Karen Tomita, Kimmy Brown, Annette Ka'aupana Karate, Neil Nihei, Gabe Naiole, and Shelly Kim. So we're blessed to have these staff from Kamehameha Schools join us tonight and talk about their proposed use of Hawaiian Homelands. For those of you who are just joining us, please remember to sign into the chat box with your first and last name, whether you are a DHHL homestead lessee, waitlist applicant, or other, and what community you are joining us from this evening. So the purpose of tonight's meeting is to collect beneficiary feedback on the proposed long-term use of Hawaiian Homelands by Kamehameha Schools for preschool in Keaukaha. We'll be providing more information on the proposed use later in this presentation. Just some general housekeeping. I think by now, for most people during the pandemic, most people have gotten pretty with using Zoom and virtual meetings. But for those of you who might be new to the virtual meeting format, just a general housekeeping rules. Please keep your microphone on mute when you are not talking. If you have a question, please indicate that you have a question by either raising your virtual hand or typing your question into the chat. Again, please keep in mind that this meeting is being recorded. And once again, for our record keeping sake, if you can sign in with your first and last name and indicate whether you are a Department of Hawaiian Homelands beneficiary or not. While we are hosting this meeting virtually because of the pandemic, we still have kuleana to each other during this meeting. Please be respectful of the person talking. Please do not interrupt the person that is talking. Wait for the facilitator, who will be me tonight, to call on you or type your question into the chat box, and I will make sure to call on you in the order of the question, should there be multiple questions at one time. When addressing other participants, please be respectful, show aloha, and treat others how you'd like to be treated. Let's remember that other people in the meeting tonight might have different opinions and perspectives than you, and let's be mindful that we need to agree to disagree. And lastly, please have an open mind, and let's have the goal of taking home new ideas or new information from tonight's presentation, as well as taking home new ideas from the mana'o that is shared by our beneficiaries tonight. We are holding this meeting in accordance with the department's beneficiary consultation policy. Beneficiary consultation is required for 4 types of proposals that require the commission's approval. These are statewide policy issues, amendments to our land use designations that are articulated in the Department of Hawaiian Homeland's island plans, and development plans of the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. So those include regional plans, island plans, and homestead development plans. Also, and lastly, and the reason why we're here tonight is beneficiary consultation is required for any proposed long-term use of Hawaiian Homelands for non-homesteading use. So tonight's agenda can be broken into 2 main parts. The first part will be a presentation by Kamehameha Schools staff. And after the presentation is an opportunity for the beneficiaries who are joining us this evening to ask questions on the presentation and also share mana'o on the proposed use of Hawaiian homelands. At the end of the meeting, we will go over the next steps in this process. So once again, the meeting purpose this evening is to collect beneficiary feedback on the proposed long-term use of Hawaiian homelands by Kamehameha schools for our preschool in Keaukaha. With that, I'd like to pass it on to Shelley Kim of Kamehameha Schools, who will be starting off Kamehameha's presentation this evening.
Mahalo, Andrew. Aloha kako, everyone. Mahalo for your time this evening and for giving us the opportunity to share with you about our Kamehameha Preschool program in Keaukaha. We have a long history at the current site, and we're so grateful that our preschool has been able to be a part of the community all these years. I have the privilege of being able to work with all of our Kamehameha preschools across the state. Tonight, I'm going to share briefly some background information about our program, but really I'm most excited that Peggy Kalalau, who oversees our Keaukaha Preschool, and two of our kumu, Kimmy Brown and Annette Ka'apana Karate, are also here to talk about their work in serving the keiki and ohana in Keaukaha. As you know, our Kamehameha schools exist because of Keali'i Pauahi. Her will and her vision is really at the heart of our work and our kuleana to serve the Native Hawaiian people through education. We know that early learning is so important for our young keiki, as well as our families and for our preschools. Our focus is really on building OEB leaders by providing that strong educational foundation delivered through Hawaiian culture-based education. And you'll get to hear a little bit more about what that looks like in our classrooms from Peggy and our kumu. So a little bit of an overview. We have 29 preschool sites across the state. We serve about 1,600 keiki each year. And to give you a little background on our ohana that we serve, on average, we have about 78% of our families receiving full or partial financial aid. And then about 95% of our keiki are Native Hawaiian. Next slide, please, Andrew. So here we just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview on our preschools on Hawai'i Island. So you can see the various locations on the map. We have 12 sites and serve about 500 ohana island-wide. About 94% of the keiki are Native Hawaiian, and about 88% receive full or partial financial aid. Keaukaha is actually one of our larger sites on Hawai'i Island, serving 76 keiki each year. So that's a little information on our statewide preschool program. And I'm going to hand it over to Peggy and our kumu, and they're going to share more about our Keaukaha Preschool. You can go to the next slide, Andrew.
Aloha kako, mahalo Shelly. Just wondering how my audio is because it was going a little bit in and out. Shelly, when you were doing yours, we could hear it faintly though, but is it still the same when I'm doing it?
Yours is good, Peg.
You can hear.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Shelly. So I just I want to start off with just kind of introducing myself and letting you folks know a little bit more about me. And I apologize if I'm looking down sometimes because I have some notes and I don't want to miss anything. But I am really blessed to be here tonight, and I thank you all for allowing me to speak about this very special place. I am the Hope Po'okumu at our Keaukaha site, and I also oversee our Pahoa and Kea'au preschools for Kamehameha schools. I've been with Kamehameha Preschool for 21 years now, and 11 of those years were spent right there at the Keaukaha Preschool as a kumu. Throughout those 11 years, I was blessed to have worked with many keiki and ohana who were beneficiaries of DHHL, sometimes working with multiple keiki from one ohana. As a result, I've made lasting memories and relationships that will last me a lifetime. Some of our kumu and staff have also been very fortunate to have their own keiki participate in our preschool there. And on a personal note, my grandson was able to attend, and my great granddaughters, not my great granddaughter, sorry, not that old. My granddaughter, her father was raised in the homestead there, and her great grandmother still lives there. So this Keaukaha Preschool holds a very, very special place in my heart and always will, and the community is very dear to me. I'm honored to be able to speak to you and share a little bit about this preschool. So let's take a look at this slide. So this first slide is just some data that we pulled together to share with you folks over a 3-year trend, to kind of show a 3-year trend. And so if you look at the top right, 96% enrollment, we have a 96% enrollment capacity with a seat capacity of 76 right there at the preschool. 97% of those keiki are native Hawaiian. 91% are receive full or partial financial aid. And a majority of the ohana live right there in Hilo. About 20 to 30% of the keiki enrolled live in Keaukaha. We also have several ohana that have since moved out of Keaukaha to Hilo, or the outskirts, or even to Puna, but they still bring their keiki back to our Keaukaha Preschool when it's time for their keiki to go to school. And then we also have a lot of ohana from our neighboring homestead in Panaeva as well that attend. We are licensed by DHS, and we are also accredited by the NAEYC, which is the National Association for the Education of the Young Child. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this slide just shows a little bit of the history of our preschool and how we got there. And so let me just take you back 30 years. 1992 is when our very first preschool classroom opened in Keaukaha, not at the site that it's at right now, but over on the corner of Deshay and Baker. And the portable building is still there today. It is housing someone else at this time. I'm not quite sure who's in there at this time, but it's right there on the corner by Keaukaha Elementary School. We opened up one preschool there, one preschool classroom with 20 keiki. The kumu that actually started that preschool in 1992 is still working with us today. In 1995, Kamehameha Elementary School built the building that we are currently in on the corner of Baker and Todd. They ran their elementary school there from 95 till 2003. And at that time, they relocated to their campus, their current campus now up in Keaukaha. And that is when we closed down our preschool on the corner of Deshay and Baker, and we moved that classroom over. We added 3 more classrooms for a total of 4 preschool classrooms. And we have been there since 2003. Currently, we are still running the 4 classrooms. We have 76 keiki that come through our preschool every year. We've been doing that for the past 18 years. We have 12 kumu and 1 custodian that work there. And yeah, I think that's it for that slide. Thank you, Andrew. Next slide. This next slide is just showing, it's an aerial view of where our preschool actually is on that corner of Baker and Todd. And it kind of gives you an idea of where we're at. And then the one on the right is just a floor plan of our 4 preschool classrooms there in that complex on the corner. Next slide. So now I'm going to welcome Kimmy to share this slide.
Aloha, Oval Okimi Brown, no Keaukaha Mayau. I was born and raised on Andrews and Krause, and I have been a kumu here at our Keaukaha Preschool site on the corner of Baker and Todd since we opened 19 years ago. And as far as activities that are conducted on site, first and foremost, of course, is our preschool program. We service keiki who are 3 to 4 years old, Monday through Friday, 7 to 5. Occasionally, we have events happening after hours or on the weekends. And these are mostly for Ohana engagement type things, such as Ohana work days, parent keiki activities, parent teacher conference, maybe parent meetings or workshops, things of that nature. We do also have a few special events throughout the year, notably our Founders Day, where we honor Keali'i Pauahi near her birthday in December, as well as our Aloha ceremony, where we honor our keiki who are transitioning onto kindergarten in May. And then we do also sometimes have staff activities on site for training and professional development purposes. But of course, for the last year and a half, Ohana engagement, special events, and staff activities have been virtual and will continue to be so until further notice. Mahalo, next slide, please. I'll hand it over to Annette.
Aloha o Annette, ke haulani akui ka apana karate ko'u inoa. I'm a kumu, I'm a kumu kokua at Keaukaha Preschool. I've been with Kamehameha Schools almost 30 years. And I've had the privilege of having children and grandchildren attend our preschools in Keaukaha. So for our benefit to beneficiaries, we provide high quality culture-based preschool experience that supports the development of the whole child, physical, social, emotional, cognitive, spiritual, and cultural. We also support connection to culture, academic readiness for kindergarten, social and emotional well-being of keiki and our ohana, affordable and accessible preschool education in our community. We provide a full day preschool program for working ohana and staff participation and engagement with other community programs. So I wanted to share some of the community programs and connections that we've made. We have connected with Kupuna, the Keola Nona Kupuna Alulike program. And for many years, I can't remember how many, we would go to visit them at Maliapuko Kalani, or they would come to visit us. We would do hula with them, mele, mo'olelo, arts and craft. Then we've also had Hilo High School students from their Hawaiian Studies program who would come and teach mele to the keiki. They would create games for the keiki as teaching tools. We also had connections with Kiana La'ahana, where we participated in the makahiki ceremony. We did makahiki games with their students. We did hula, mele. We made connections with Ka'umeke Ka'eo. We would do Papa Mala'o visits with them. And we also would sing mele with them. We did connections with Keaukaha Preschool. And we would go Christmas caroling and sing songs for their preschoolers. And their keiki would write letters to our keiki and sing songs with us also. We also, part of our Christmas caroling, we would go visit OHA when they were there, DHHL, and also In Peace when they were there before, and do our Halloween mass parade to share with them, and also do Christmas caroling with them. Mahalo. And also the maintenance and upkeep of the facility. So in the corner, we have 97% of parents strongly agree that the program is teaching keiki about their cultural identity through sense of place. And this is a comment from one of our parents' surveys. Just being able to do preschool at home during this COVID time was the biggest takeaway. In the short time keiki met in Zoom, they learned what it means to be alakai, mele, stories, alphabets, math, art, and more. We really enjoyed it. And that was from a Keaukaha parent. Mahalo. Next slide.
Mahalo, Kimmy and Annette. And you know, both Kimmy and Annette have been there from the beginning, from the first when we first opened that preschool on the corner there of Baker and Todd. Okay, so we'll move on to a little bit more data. And so we've collected some data on the evidence of social, emotional, and language and literacy development, which are super important indicators for kindergarten readiness and school success. And so if you take a look at the slides, we have one slide for personal and social, one graphic, I should say, personal and social development from 2018 to present, and it shows the growth from the beginning of the school year and then where the Keiki were when they exited our program. And then on the right, it'll give you the data for our language and literacy development. And then we also have more another excerpt from a Ohana survey that we recently did on the right-hand side. 96% of parents strongly agree that learning activities help Keiki gain emerging literacy skills like ABCs, interest in books, early writing. And another comment from a Keaukaha parent: my child loves school. He enjoys learning, is excited about going to school, and has made new friends. I also love my kumu for working so very hard to keeping up with lessons and providing so many learning opportunities for my child this year. That is our last slide. And I just want to mahalo you again for the opportunity to speak and to share. And mahalo all of the ones that are here today just to support. I really appreciate it. And I wanted to let you folks know that I did also get some letters from Ohana in support of our preschool that I will be emailing later to you folks. Anything that I missed, Shelly?
No, mahalo, Peggy and Kimmy and Annette. Thank you.
Yeah, your audio is still going a little
My
bit in and
audio's
out, Shelly,
gosh, it
but
must.
we can hear you very faintly and then it gets a little bit loud, but yeah.
Sorry, that must be my audio on my end.
I can hear you good now. Okay. Thank you, Andrew. Oh, you're on mute.
Thanks. Mahalo nui Kamehameha School staff for sharing your mo'olelo about the good work that you've been doing at the site and sharing about what you want to continue doing at the site. So right now is an opportunity for those of you listening in, those beneficiaries listening in, if you had any questions on the presentation, if you wanted to get anything clarified or have any questions. So now it's your turn to share your mana'o with us. Again, there are two ways you can do that. You can either type in the chat box. If you're a little bit shy like me, feel free to type in the chat box, or you can raise your virtual hand and I will call on you and you have the opportunity to share. Any questions on the presentation? Don't all speak at once. This is one of the facilitators' nightmares when no one talks, because then I gotta try to get you to talk, or share or type in the chat. Okay, well, Hans, go ahead, Hans. Long time no see.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hans Mortensen. I'm a Lease in Keaukaha, and my children and my grandchildren has attended Kamehameha schools, preschool here, and I love it. Wonderful program, wonderful teachers, kumus that has taken care of my children throughout the years. So thank you so much. Just wanted to, just a question. How long is the lease, a long-term lease that is being asked for this time?
Thank you for that question, Hans. So the question that was asked is, how long is the long-term lease that the department in Kamehameha schools is looking at? Well, we haven't finalized everything until we get through the beneficiary consultation. Kahana, did you have any opening thoughts on what the length of the term of the license was going to be?
Yeah, preliminarily, we're looking at 5 years for an initial term, and hopefully with an additional 5-year extension also on top of the 5-year initial term. So total 10 years. Get that?
Thank you, Kahana. Other questions? If you don't have questions, you can be like Hans and share your mana'o about what you think about the proposed use of this site by Kamehameha. Again, please feel free to talk.
I have another thought.
Go ahead, Han.
I'm trying to wait for everyone else to say something.
Well, hopefully what you have to say will spark
Yeah.
ideas from other people.
Where's Uncle Pat when you need him? He'll talk for us for hours. So some of my thoughts going into this meeting, I thought of what the property, what the land was used for before. And as you said, that it was for a non-residential lease. Growing up, Keaukaha's store was there. And they had also a rec club, rec room, rec center, we used to call it, along with Hawaiian Homes that was there also, the office. That was all next to the gym, just growing up. And so I guess listening to Uncle Pat, what he talked about, they used to have the store there and it was a community money generating venture that the community had going at one point. And so when I'm not here to advocate for Keaukaha Community Association or Kiana Lahana or Kaumeke Ka'eo or other nonprofit groups that may be in the community. My initial thought coming into the meeting was several things. One, that Kamehameha Schools is doing a great job for our children and our community there. But the thought that comes to my mind is these other entities in the community that may not have that an easy, not easy time, but being able to find non-residential land use within your community is very difficult because you have to, it's more of a residential lease options. If there was a lease, they will be out in the Waikia area, Kanoe Lehua, industrial areas, and by Walmart and those areas. But within the community, it's a gem. And I'm not saying that that's what other entities could use, but that is an option for other groups, because I believe that Kiana has a few rooms over there. Kiana Lahana just did a 7 years, and I'm not sure who else was looking to possibly put in a bid to or wanting to use the facilities as it's come available. For example, like Kaumeke, Kamehameha's, sorry, just other nonprofits. KCA, I know that they have had some property that they could use. I'm just looking at those thoughts. My thoughts is that Kamehameha has lands here and there, and they have money, versus other entities within the community, Hawaiian community, may not have access to lands and may not have, maybe they want to build something in the area or use the property to benefit the community. So anyway, that was just some of my thoughts, and I'm not trying to push for any other group or anything. It's just leaving that open. Um, but at the same time, I really think that the school is doing a wonderful job. What you're doing, I just thought about those things. What if there was opportunities for the community to do something with it? That's all.
Mahalo, Hans, for sharing your mana'o. Are other folks that would like to share their mana'o or ask a question at this time? Right. Okay. Wai'ale Ale has her hand raised. Go ahead.
Sorry, Andrew, I was trying to follow your rules.
Oh,
Hans, I absolutely appreciate your comment. And I wasn't sure if you were aware also that we've been supporting charter schools probably for about 20 years. That's something else that I do. Beyond supporting the preschools, it's something else that I do as my koleana at KS. And particularly Ka'umeke Ka'el, as well as Keana La'ahana. And so we definitely support community-based organizations. I love charter schools. My kids are from charter school world. And so any way that, we want to continue to support them to see them thrive, because those are, maybe those are where your grandchildren might attend, if not Keaukaha Elementary. And so we want to continue to support them as well in the community.
Mahalo, Wai'ale Ale. Okay. I might have to start calling on people. Angie, did you have any comments or questions? Sorry, I'm just going in alphabetical order, that's all. That's fine.
Well, I'm a kumu at the Keaukaha Preschool, and I just want to say that one thing I really love about having our school in the community is that, we have families that walk to our school, or their caregivers, their family members, they all live together in that area. So it's easy for them to bring their keiki to school or pick them up from school. And before this COVID hit, there was a lot of, community happening when parents would drop off or pick up their keiki. And it's just a really beautiful thing to see. And I'm really honored to work there and really blessed to be in that community. And that's all.
Angie. The Paulino Ohana, did you folks have any mana'o to share with us tonight? If not, that's okay.
Hey, Andrew, I'll jump in real quick. This is Kahana
Okay.
again.
Go ahead.
Aloha again, everybody. This is Kahana. I'm putting my DHHL hat, taking my DHHL hat off and speaking on behalf as a homestead, fourth generation homestead lessee out here in Waimanalo. And speaking, about Kamehameha School's preschool over here in Waimanalo. And sorry to say, but I just have to mention Shelly Kim was my daughter's teacher back in early 2000s when Waimanalo Preschool opened up here. But I too so appreciate the opportunity for my children, my two oldest ones, to have been students and have attended the preschool. They flourished through the preschool program that Kamehameha Schools has offered. And just wanted to you know, give my full-on support. Again, taking off my DHHL hat, putting on my lessee hat, and a community member here out in Wamanalo. Mahalo again.
Okay. Thank you, Kahan. Thank you, Kahana. CK, do you have anything to add to the conversation tonight? Any manao or questions? If not, that's okay. Chelsea Hamarang, do you have anything to add tonight?
I guess same like Angie, I'm a kumu as well down in Keaukaha. I've been down at the Keaukaha site since 2008, but with KS. Prior to that, I just really appreciate the opportunity to work with all the Kiki that has come into our classroom. I reconnect with all of my classmates and their Kiki, and my classmates, their parents, when they come to pick up Kiki. Although I'm not from Keaukaha, I spent a big chunk of my childhood in Keaukaha, where a lot of people thought that I was from there. I spent time at the beach every day and down at the softball park, as my dad played softball and coached softball as well. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be part of the community and to work with your keiki or grand keiki in the classroom.
Mahalo for that. Darissa Kekua Vela, do you have anything to
I just
say tonight?
aloha. Yeah, aloha. I too work at
Okay.
Kamehameha schools. So I just kako'o everything that our kumu have said. We're so grateful for being there in our Keaukaha community. Mahalo.
Mahalo. NF and Kawailele o Hi'ilawe, do you have anything to add tonight? Any questions or mana'o on the proposed use of fine homelands? Okay, that's fine if you, well, since we're all so talkative tonight, let me just kind of go over what the next steps are in our consultation process. So our beneficiary consultation process, in addition to the meeting we are having tonight, it also allows for a 30-day comment period for beneficiaries who might not have been able to attend tonight, as well as beneficiaries that have attended but have new mana'o to share. If you're like me, like, oh, I should have said that, or if something pops in your mind later tomorrow or next week, you still have an opportunity to send in your comments to us. So the comment period is from tonight to August 27th. And you can email your comments to dhhl.planning@hawaii.gov. I did receive a phone call from a kupuna requesting a hard copy of tonight's presentation. And so you can also mail it in to the district office or to Kapolei, but primarily we would prefer if you email it to us at dhhl.planning@hawaii.gov. So after the 30-day comment period, the department will be preparing a consultation report, which is just a fancy way of saying we're going to summarize everyone's comments from tonight, as well as the comments we receive over the next 30 days. And we're going to give that report to the commission as it makes a decision on whether or not to approve a license request. One of the things that the commission takes into strong consideration is the opinion and mana'o of beneficiaries. So the consultation report is a information document that the commission uses in its decision-making process. So we hope to give the consultation report to the commission and request the commission approval of the license request at the department at the Hawaiian Homes Commission's September meeting in a couple months. So those are the next steps in this process. With that, if there are no other questions or comments, again, feel free to email us at dhl.planning@hawaii.gov. This meeting video will be posted on the same website that you folks used to get to the meeting tonight. So if you know of other community members, other neighbors in your homestead community that weren't able to participate tonight, but were interested in sharing their mana'o, please let them know that they still can do that and that they can watch tonight's video presentation for more information. So last call. Okay. Well, mahalo everyone, especially to Kamehameha School staff and especially to our beneficiaries for taking the time out of their busy lives. Thank you so much for joining us and take care. Aloha.
Mahalo.
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 Ahuiho.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. Mahalo.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Hans, for coming and for sharing your mana'o. It would have been very quiet without you.
If it was just a little bit of things happening.
Yeah. Okay. Well, take care.